You're listening to The Money Hour with your host, Tina Mitchell, and co-host Keelan Harvey on Alternative Talk AM 1150. Now, back to the show with local mortgage experts Tina Mitchell and Keelan Harvey.
Welcome back to The Money Hour on 1150 AM KKNW, the Saturday, February 29th show. I am your host, Tina Mitchell.
And I'm your co-host, Keelan Harvey.
You're a local mortgage coach. You're over. I just messed up because you're over there cracking up.
Yeah, I just stumbled over a word, just laughing at myself.
It's all good.
I like
well,
it.
We're your local mortgage experts, and we'd like to have fun here in studio. We're here to help you build a strong financial blueprint 1 week and one show at a time. Now you got me going, Keelan. If you're hearing my show at a different time or day, you are listening to a rebroadcast, but we're here to answer any questions or connect you with the guests that we have on the show today. Please feel free to call the show at 1-855-400-1150. Again, that's 1-855-400-1150 or online at themoneyhour.com. In studio right now, we have Meena Merchant of Werxo. And we're talking about myths about making a video. First time in studio, Meena. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. And a little bit about Meena. Meena is the CEO of Werxo. As its leader, she guides the company as it traverses the landscape of corporate, nonprofit sector, and more artistic storytelling. Prior to this, she was a owner of a graphic design company and a stationery company. She worked for many years as a graphic designer, product designer, and as a marketing extraordinaire. She has also spent a lot of time creating, teaching, and promoting the creation of art in her home, at her son's school, and in her community. Meena has lived in California, New York City, and the greater Seattle area. Meena seeks connections through the cultivation of relationships. Her heart's calling is to give airtime and use film and video as a medium to tell the stories of women and people of color, among other minorities.
Meena, I love that. I can't tell you how many experts we've had in here, all over the board. I mean, you name it, as far as how important it is for like real estate agents, mortgage people, professionals, anybody that's trying to get their word out, how a video is so important nowadays. So I'm so excited to talk with you about this. This is what you do. So can you tell us a little bit about what some of the aspects to creating a video that people just don't know?
So I think, in today's age of YouTube and our iPhones, it's super easy to pick up your phone and make a video. Mm-hmm. I think that a lot of people don't realize what really goes into it. And of course, you can certainly make a video run and gun like that, not really thinking about it. But the true craft and what we specialize in is helping you to think through. And the majority of our time and effort goes into something we call pre-production, which is taking time to get to know you. Asking you why you want a video, figuring out what you're really about, what you're trying to say, why you're trying to say it, and maximizing this visual medium because there's so many different ways to communicate. And one wonderful way is through video. And it's so visually based. But yes. Ironically, a lot of people want to make videos that are just about a person talking.
Yeah.
Which, we could do like right now on the radio. Why do you need to see that? So we really try to push the envelope a little bit and get people to think outside of what they would normally think of as, hey, let's make something beautiful and compelling and get your message across that way.
Yeah, so important. And, you're being a disservice to your clients if you're not presenting yourself in the best possible fashion for them to be able to connect with you. And video is the way to do that. So, Meena, let's talk about why it's important for you to be in a leadership position with your company.
Yeah, that question is a good one for me because I've avoided it for a long time. And what I realize is that, I've spent a lifetime working for other people, supporting them, doing everything behind the scenes. And now in this current role, I've had this great honor of stepping out from behind that curtain and being at the forefront and setting an example, being a role model for any other young women or people of color, other voices that maybe don't get heard, to be in a leadership role, to guide how things are communicated and seen out in the world. And I think that's really, really important. I missed a lot of that growing up. I wish I had more of that. And now it's a pleasure to be able to fill that role as best as I can.
Yeah.
That's so well said. And the question always comes, you have a fantastic service that you offer. It happens to the best of us that offer fantastic service. what does it cost?
That is the $1 million question.
That is $1 million question.
What does it cost? So, I've heard a million different analogies, but I'll give you one that was really very pertinent to us last year. We had to have a remodel. It was a forced remodel due to a leak that one of our pipes burst in the wall. We didn't find it for months.
Oh my golly.
And according to the insurance agent, the claims adjuster, they said, well, this repair is going to cost $12,000. And in the end, I think we spent $40,000.
Oh,
and
my
so it was
golly.
expensive. So the point is that, things can, there's a big spectrum. You pick up your iPhone, you shoot a video that way with no pre-planning or anything. It's not going to cost much, right?
Yes.
And we've done projects that range from anywhere from like $2,000 up to $100,000, $150,000 or so. And it really just depends. And how do you use those resources and why do you allot those resources in the ways that you do? So we like to work with our clients to figure out, okay, listen, you have $10,000, you have $5,000. Let's see what we're trying to do and who we need to make that project happen. So it really varies. And that is the hardest question for us to answer without doing some level of education with our clients.
Well, I like to say you get what you pay for, right? I mean, that's the truth of it. You can find something really, really cheap, but chances are it's not going to work out very well for you. Even clothes, things like that. You can find a T-shirt for $5, but you probably have a hole in it in 2 months, and now you're getting another T-shirt. So, you get what you pay for, and and the value of that is going to be direct reflection of that. So remember that, people. You go out there and you just buy things. Just because it's cheap, it doesn't mean it's the best financial decision for you, especially in real estate.
That's true. Very
Yeah.
true.
So, Meena, where are you located and where do you conduct business at?
So we are located in Renton, Washington, just a little south of Seattle, and we have the great pleasure of working on site at our residence. So we have a pretty big piece of property and a separate freestanding building where we have our studio. We do conduct a lot of business there, and we also do a lot of business where we need to go shoot. So that's all over the state, it's all over the country, and in other countries when necessary.
Well, Meena, you are clearly stylish. You look like you'd be fun to hang out with. So I'm curious.
Absolutely.
What does your work-life balance, what does that mean to you?
So work-life balance to me is really about making your work fit around your life. And my husband and I have had many a conversation about what is the life that we really want to live? What's that quality of life that we're really looking for? And how can we mold our work around that or to support that? Mm-hmm. And so for us, it's being able to be on site at our home so that our older son can be homeschooled. For us, it's also about having real flexibility so we can go attend events for our kids or family members or other friends that we want to support in the community. And so we don't work 9 to 5 strict hours, sometimes working on the weekends, sometimes at night, whatever it works for us. We also are really fundamentally creative people. So for me, it's the morning hours. For my husband, it's the late night. So we kind of just do things the way we like to, and the less structure, the better.
Yeah, and I'm like your husband. I call it my on time. It's when I'm creating and developing new ideas into my business, and I get so involved and so excited about it. I'll just literally sometimes stay up for nights with very little sleep. So I get all my energy late at night. The balance is important. And I love what you said, Meena, is for each of us, balance is going to be different. Sometimes you're going to be more in a grind in your business. Sometimes you're going to be spending more time with your family. But when you can create a business model, which you just explained, and I do with my business as well, is everything is mixed in with your business and not, so I travel with my business partners. I do my things that are important to me through my retreats and my coaching. And so everything that I'm passionate about, it's tied with my business. And so it's kind of living both of those at the same time, which is, kind of what you were sharing as well. So let's talk, Meena, tell us a little bit about a recent video project that you did and talk about some of the successes and challenges that you experienced through that project.
So, I'm not going to name any specific names here, just to protect privacy. But
of course,
we've had a couple of clients recently with very limited budgets, big aspirations, big ask about what they're trying to get done with the limited resources. And so we love to be really creative. I think parameters are great. Gives you something to bounce up against. So it's not that we can't do that. Here's the challenge. The challenge I have is getting the client to sort of get out of their own way.
Yeah.
Sometimes people have difficulty trusting us, just to do what we do best. And the thing that really, I think, is a great skill of ours is to be creative, super creative, come up with a unique idea that not everybody might think of that will really set your business or organization apart. So we get stuck in a lot of internal bureaucracy. We get stuck in we had a team we were working with recently, a medical company where they have probably 5 or 6 people working on one idea, and they tried to have us on earlier this year instead of just the last minute. So they thought, let's get them in 6 months early. We've literally spent the 6 months kind of going back and forth. Nobody can decide. It's a lot of wishy-washy.
No.
So I think
somebody needs to be in charge of this. I need to let you be in charge.
Right. And so now we're down to the wire. We have about 3 weeks to do the video, and we've just settled on an idea that is not at all what they've been talking about for the last several months. So that sometimes can be challenging. Now, on the other hand, when people just let you do your thing, they don't realize that actually the process of making a video can be really fun, and it allows for things that are unpredictable to happen. And so when they just come in, sit down with us, let us film them, it's really exciting. And they get excited too, because they're like, wow, this sounds really good. They can start to see what's taking shape.
Yeah, let the expert do their job. Let them pull the magic out. And that's what you do in creativity and video making.
Exactly.
Like say too many chiefs and not enough Indians. It never works out well.
Not a very PC example.
No. I didn't mean that in a derogatory way, I guess. What are you currently working on, Meena?
So we are currently working on a few different projects. One is for a local produce market. It's based in Renton, Washington, family-owned, wonderful, just stronghold of the community. And we're working on a series of ads for them to just promote their business, get the word out. They use so many local vendors and suppliers, artisanal products, just excellent quality of stuff. And they're so passionate about what they do. And I'm so excited to get that word out there in a way that's really unique.
That's awesome. So let's talk about your ideal client, Meena. Who would that be? Who do they look like?
So our ideal client, comes in all shapes and sizes. We just love to be able to get into either an organization, an art individual person, business person, small, large company, but somebody that is interested in just thinking outside of the box and letting us get in there, get to know them a little bit. Somebody who's really wants to be engaged with us in our process. One of the toughest things is to have a client that is just doesn't have any interest in talking to you. They want you to do the job, but they don't actually want to do anything with you. And we really see that as a relationship. So it's a client that's interested in having that relationship with us. Yeah.
And to get the value, you got to know your client, right?
Exactly.
And get the feedback of what they want to kind of present out there. So what about passion projects? What do you got going for passion projects these days?
So I'm actually working on a documentary right now about a dear, dear friend who is a classical Indian dancer. And
Awesome.
I've been working on it for about 1.5 years. And I think I'm maybe 30-40% into the process. So it's definitely a long haul, just to tell her story and show a bit about what it's like to be a woman, born in America, but from immigrant parents and pursuing her art form full time. So I think that's really, it can be so inspirational to others.
Yeah, and it's always fun to have a great passion project. So excited to see that when it's been completed. We've got about 1 minute left. And so in a short version, what is the process of making a video, Meena?
The process, I would say, is, you engage us, just reach out. We sit down with you, get to know you a little bit and see what are your parameters. Like, what are you trying to do? Why do you think you need a video? And we're going to ask you a bunch of questions. So we'll ask you to think through the process with us. And we will help you to figure out some concepts, some brainstorms. We love to do that, and then figure out just how to stay within your parameters of the project and get across the message that you're really trying to get across. So there's pre-production, then there's production. So how do we shoot it? Where do we shoot it?
Yeah.
How long is that going to take? And then there's post-production. So that's when we got everything in the can, but we're editing it down to that beautiful sweet spot that we're going for. And then we deliver.
Love that, Meena. Well, if you're listening to the show, no matter what industry you're in, you need to get on video to be able to not just share your product, but more important, to share your story. And I think that's what a good videographer company can do, like Meena's company. So, Meena, thank you so much for coming in and joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. It was real fun.
For more information or to connect with Meena, you can call the show at 1-855-400-1150. Again, that's 1-855-400-1150 or online at themoneyhour.com. Coming up next on The Money Hour, strategic advantages and pitfalls in patents. Berquist of Seed Intellectual Property Law Group right here at 1150 AM, KKNW, after this short break.